They said Brock Lesnar was gone. They said he was done. They said the beast was finished, washed up, walking away, never coming back to haunt anybody ever again. WWE officials said it. Commentators said it. The internet said it. And every single one of them just got made to look like the biggest fools on the planet because Brock Lesnar just showed up on Monday Night Raw, and what he did to Obafemi is so savage, so disgusting, so absolutely unhinged that I need you to stop scrolling right now, because if you miss this, you will be completely lost when everyone around you is talking about nothing else for the next 3 months. Drop everything. Let's go. Segment 1, setting the scene. Monday Night Raw. The lights are blazing. The crowd is electric. Obafemi, and let's be absolutely clear about who this man is before we go any further. Obafemi is not just a rising star. He is the most physically imposing, genetically gifted, terrifyingly powerful athlete WWE has produced in years. The man is 6 feet 4 inches, built like a Greek god sculpted out of granite, and he carries himself with this cold, calculated arrogance that makes you genuinely believe every single word that comes out of his mouth when he says he cannot be beaten. He walks to that ring like the building already belongs to him, like you belong to him, like the entire WWE roster is just a lineup of people waiting to be humiliated. And on this particular night, Obafemi was in full force. He had just dismantled his opponent inside that ring with the kind of effortless brutality that makes your jaw drop. He was standing tall. He was soaking in the hatred of the crowd and loving every second of it. The NXT North American Championship glory days might be behind him, but make no mistake, this man was on a warpath on the main roster, and nothing looked like it could slow him down. The music hit. The crowd popped. And then the arena went absolutely nuclear. Segment 2, Brock Lesnar's return. Because that music? That low, rumbling, bone-rattling entrance theme that sends a shiver through every single person in that building regardless of whether they love him or hate him? That was Brock Lesnar's music. And I need you to understand what that moment felt like. Because there are WWE returns and then there are Brock Lesnar returns. These are not the same category of event. When most superstars return, the crowd reacts. When Brock Lesnar returns, the atmosphere in that arena fundamentally changes. The air gets heavier. The noise gets louder. Even the wrestlers in the back, veterans who've seen everything, stop what they're doing and watch the monitor. Because when Brock shows up unannounced, somebody's night is about to get ruined in the most catastrophic way imaginable. Lesnar walked through that curtain and the entire building lost its collective mind. And you could see it on Obafemi's face, that split second of recalibration. That flicker, just a flicker behind those ice-cold eyes, where even he, the most self-assured, unbreakable force on the Raw roster, had to process what was standing at the top of that ramp. Because Brock Lesnar is not a wrestling character. He is a force of nature. He is a real-life apex predator who moonlights as a professional wrestler, and every single person watching in that arena and at home knew that Obafemi was about to be in a situation that no amount of athletic ability or arrogance was going to prepare him for. Lesnar didn't run. He didn't sprint. He walked. Slowly. Deliberately. With that smirk on his face that tells you he has already decided how this ends, and he just wants you to sit with the dread for a few more seconds. Segment 3, the attack. And then it happened. Brock hit that ring like a freight train disguised as a human being. No words. No posturing. No speech. He went straight for Obafemi, and the two biggest, most physically terrifying men on Monday Night Raw collided in the center of that ring, and the impact was something you felt in your chest through the screen. Now, Obafemi, in credit where it's absolutely due, he didn't wilt. He didn't back down. This kid is not built to back down. He fired back. He swung hard. For a moment, just a moment, it looked like we might genuinely be watching Obafemi go toe-to-toe with Brock Lesnar and hold his own. And the crowd was split. Half of them losing their minds in terror, the other half willing Obafemi to do the impossible. But Brock Lesnar did not come back to Monday Night Raw to lose a brawl. He came back to make a statement. And statements in Brock Lesnar's vocabulary are written in pain. The German suplexes started. 1, 2. Obafemi, a man of his enormous size, being launched across that ring like he weighed absolutely nothing. 3. The crowd was stunned into a horrified silence punctuated by gasps. Brock had that machine-like, emotionless look on his face, the one that's somehow more frightening than rage, and he was not done. He hit the F5. That devastating, spinning, crushing finishing maneuver that has ended careers and ended championship reigns and ended people's very sense of security inside a WWE ring. And Obafemi crashed down to the canvas in a heap. But here's where the night took a turn that nobody, and I mean nobody, saw coming. Segment 4, Obafemi's revenge, the ankle attack. Because Brock Lesnar, operating in that cold, methodical beast mode, decided that putting Obafemi down with the F5 wasn't enough. He wanted to send a message that would last longer than one night. He wanted to leave a mark. He started targeting the leg. He dragged Obafemi toward the ring post, and the intent was written all over his face. This man was going to do damage that goes beyond the match, beyond the segment, beyond tonight. And that was the moment Brock Lesnar made the worst miscalculation of his return, because Obafemi, battered, furious, and operating on pure adrenaline and rage, found something inside himself. Some reserve of will and violence that not many human beings have access to, and as Brock reached for him near that ring post, Obafemi exploded. He grabbed Brock's leg, and with every ounce of power in that enormous frame, he wrenched it. He twisted it around that steel ring post with a brutality that made the announcers fall completely silent for 3 full seconds because their brains could not immediately process what they were witnessing. Brock Lesnar let out a sound that sent chills through every single person in that building. He dropped. He went down. And Obafemi, blood dripping, chest heaving, eyes absolutely wild, stood over him and looked down at the beast with an expression that said everything words never could. The ankle. Brock's ankle. Twisted, wrenched, potentially broken against that steel ring post by a man who physically refused to stay down and be victimized. Security flooded the ring. Medical personnel rushed down. Referees were separating bodies and the commentary team was talking over each other, trying to explain what they'd just seen. The crowd was on their feet, not cheering exactly, not booing exactly, just that rare, electric, chaotic noise that happens when something genuinely shocking has just taken place on live television. Segment 5: The Aftermath and Implications. Now, let's talk about what this means. Because this isn't just a wild segment. This isn't just a cool moment you clip and share with your wrestling friends, though believe me, you absolutely should share this video right now because the takes are about to get hot and I want to hear yours in the comments below. This moment has enormous, seismic implications for Monday Night Raw going forward. First, Brock Lesnar is back. And he didn't come back for a feel-good moment or a nostalgia pop. He came back with aggression. With intent. With a specific target. The question every wrestling fan needs to be asking right now is, why Obafemi? What is the connection? What did Obafemi do, or who did he talk to, or what championship is involved that brought Brock Lesnar back to that building on that specific night, going straight for that specific man? Because Brock does not do anything without a reason. Every move he makes is calculated. And whoever is pulling the strings behind this, whether it's a promoter, a manager, a rival, or Brock's own personal agenda, there is a story here that is just getting started. Second, Obafemi just did something almost nobody does. He hurt Brock Lesnar. Not kayfabe TV hurt. Actually, visually, undeniably hurt. The man grabbed the ankle of one of the most legitimately dangerous professional wrestlers in the history of this business and he made him fall. He made him scream. That moment does one of two things for Obafemi's career trajectory. It either launches him into the stratosphere as the man who stood up to the beast and drew blood, or it puts a gigantic target on his back, because Brock Lesnar does not forget and he does not forgive, and the retribution coming for Obafemi if and when that ankle heals is going to be biblical. Third, and this is the one I need you to really sit with, where does Raw go from here? Because you now have a roster that just watched Obafemi take on Brock Lesnar. You have a locker room that has seen what Obafemi is capable of when his back is against the wall. The grudging, terrified, reluctant respect that the Raw roster now has for Obafemi is immeasurable. And simultaneously, the rage that Brock Lesnar is going to carry into every future appearance makes him more dangerous than he's been in years. Raw just became the most must-see show in professional wrestling. Segment 6: The Bigger Picture. Let me put this in historical context for a second, because I think this moment deserves that. Brock Lesnar returning and targeting someone is not unusual, but the someone fighting back and leaving Brock lying, that is rare. That is genuinely, historically rare. Think about the names that have stood across from Brock Lesnar and come out looking anything other than destroyed. It is a short list. An embarrassingly short list. And Obafemi just put his name on it. This is the kind of moment that defines careers. This is the moment that, 10 years from now, if Obafemi is holding a world championship, which at the rate he's going, is an absolute inevitability, people are going to point to this night and say that was the night the whole wrestling world learned who Obafemi really was. And for Brock Lesnar, injured, angered, and publicly humiliated on the grandest stage of Monday nights, this is the kind of slight that fuels returns. Fuels obsession. Fuels the kind of feud that makes pay-per-view main events and legendary memories. Closing call to action. So here's where I land on all of this. Monday Night Raw just gave us one of the most legitimately shocking, legitimately visceral, legitimately important moments in recent WWE television history. Brock Lesnar's return was staggering. His attack on Obafemi was brutal. And Obafemi's retaliation, breaking the ankle of the beast in cold blood at the back of that ring, was the single most defiant act we have seen on Raw in a very long time. I need to know what you think. Drop it in the comments right now. Is Obafemi the real deal? Is he the one person who can actually stand toe-to-toe with Brock Lesnar and win a war? Or is Brock going to come back healthier, angrier, and more destructive than ever and make Obafemi pay for every single second of that ankle attack? Share this video because your wrestling friends need to be talking about this, and if you are not subscribed to Ring Rumble 1 yet, what are you even doing? This channel covers the moments that matter, the moments that shock, and the moments that change WWE forever. And tonight? Tonight was all three. Ring Rumble 1. Stay locked in. This story is just getting start characters/letters as requested, notes for recording. Pause after Brock Lesnar's music for dramatic effect. Speed up delivery during the attack sequence for intensity. Lower your voice on. That was the moment Brock made the worst miscalculation for menace. Hit the comments CTA with energy, lean into the camera.